South Africa's jazz scene is alive, it's evolving, and it's rich in heritage. And with the 9th Mzantsi Jazz Awards taking place on the 30th of August at the Keorapetse William Kgositsile Theatre at the University of Johannesburg, it continues to solidify just that, where this year, jazz legends Themba, Mkhize, as well as Jonathan Butler are going to be honoured with Lifetime Achievement Awards, whilst emerging artists, including venues and radio stations, are going to also be celebrated for keeping the music thriving. And so we're going to chat a little bit further about this and these awards. Dr Mongezi Makhalima, Mzantsi Jazz Awards founder, joins us to chat a little bit further. Doc, good morning. Welcome. Thanks for your time.
Morning. Thank you, Lizelle. Good to see you again.
It's good to be back. And I mean, we're obviously looking at this being the 9th edition. So it's quite exciting times. Congrats on that feat. Tell us about this evolution of the Mzantsi Jazz Awards and how they've evolved over the past years.
Look, I think what I'm excited about with the Jazz Awards this year, and I think I should say this up front, thank you to the musicians that have actually been supporting it and supporting the initiative, because without the musicians, there wouldn't be the Mzantsi Jazz Awards, because that's who we're doing it for. And I think what makes me say that is that when we started in 2017, it was a bit of a touch and go there. What are you guys doing? And how do you even start the awards in a genre that's not as supported and all of those kinds of things? But I think 9 years down the line, we have so many nominations. They have actually increased. I think every year for the last 2 years, we have about 100 nominations that actually come in, which is really great.
And I actually wanted to get into that, the nominees, the winners selected, just the process that goes, through that, the criteria that makes an artist stand out. Tell us about what's happening behind the scenes and also just the impact these awards really have had in South Africa's jazz community and cultural landscape.
Yeah, look, we start in March, right? Well, we actually start in October in terms of preparing what needs to happen and all of those things. But in March we call the nominees in, and we open the nominations, and it's always a very nerve-wracking process because we don't know this year who's gonna be there. But we're also doing our work and doing the research and finding out. And I think what's always exciting is seeing who's new, who actually is coming in that we don't know. I think for me, that's the most important thing. I think the last part of the work is when we now send it out to the committee to actually do their own evaluation, jazz-loving, jazz-understanding people who really appreciate this music. Every year, I'm always grateful they volunteer their time to actually give us feedback on the music. And this is where what you see now, which we're going to celebrate on the 30th of August.
And that definitely speaks to the growth and the evolution of the jazz scene in South Africa, locally and internationally. And this awards, recognizes emerging talent, but we've also got the Lifetime Achievers Award that's going to be handed to Jonathan Butler and Themba Mkhize. Perhaps you can tell us about the emerging artists and then the significance of honoring these two legends.
Well, look, I think what's also exciting, as I was looking also at the lineup, because Mdumjali is our musical director, which is very exciting, and I think it's a nice connection. If you think the very first time I came across the music of Themba Mkhize, it was as a result of Mam Sibongile Khumalo's Ancient Evenings, because before then, I knew Sakile and all of that, but I didn't really know the names, but the impact that I felt. So Mdumjali is Sibongile Khumalo's pianist as far as I'm concerned. So I'm very excited to have him on the program. But honoring Themba Mkhize is overdue. He has been a legend and contributed quite a lot. We've had him contribute to the Jazz Awards, I think a couple of years ago, 5 years ago in 2020, and it made sense because our principle is also to value and celebrate these jazz musicians while they are still alive.
Yes.
And then Dr. Jonathan Butler, it's so exciting. It's a childhood hero of mine. And when his name came up, I was saying there's absolutely no way we are not doing this. In fact, we haven't honored a new Lifetime Achievement awardee in about 4 years, 5 years. So this is the fact that we have both of them is very exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing what will happen on that stage. And finally, I think it's such a seminal moment because you have a young people like Rory Sang, Sichele, Lauren Manning, KG Mwebe. So it's almost like a passing of the baton in a way. Is happening. That's very exciting.
Absolutely. I mean, just to your point, it's honoring these two legends. It's been long overdue, and it just reflects that rich heritage and history that continues to be part of that, successful SA storytelling, not only limited to jazz alone. And when you look at the inspiration, the collaborations, the innovations that also come as a result, of what's transpiring with the new entrants and with the legends as well. Tell us about what you're witnessing on that front, how the sound, the future of South African jazz is also evolving and contributing to the global music scene as well. Look, I can see.
It's so safe. It is so safe. It is so safe. I think one of the things that excites me about doing this work, and I didn't know when I started because I was just really thinking, oh, it's gonna be just the elders, and we do because somebody actually sent a message to people in jazz that jazz is for older people. It is such a big lie. It was such a big surprise in 2017 when we started getting the nominees, and we realized a lot of South African jazz is young, and now when I ask people like Le Famosia, Ketin Kotsi, who listens to you guys, and go like our people. I was speaking to Rorisan the other day, and she says our group, our peers are listening to this music. So jazz music is young, it's vibrant, it's amazing. Wherever Huma Sikala is, wherever Jonas Kwangwa is, wherever Mamsbongile Kumalo is, I think they are also just really proud to see this moment. But I think for me, having people at the same time, like Sydney Mavunda on stage, who essentially have been the light that they on this genre showing up. Because when I say Sydney Mavunda, most of the time people would not know because he's not famous, but he's like really, really crazy musician. So having that partnership is so amazing.
Well, Dr. Mongezi, obviously, I think it's safe to say that jazz is for old souls. So not for old age, old souls. And so we're looking forward to that depth carrying all of us, and obviously that baton being handed over. Thank you for your time, and thank you for being part of this evolving sphere of celebrating our jazz legends and the emerging artists as well with the Mzantsi Jazz Awards. Obviously in its 9th edition, Dr. Mongezi Makhalima joining us to chat about what we can expect for this year's edition.